Hello, everyone. Me and Jesse here again, planning the Little Tensas Bayou experiment. And this one's kind of impromptu because we were supposed to be doing a hangout, but I miscommunicated and hello, everyone. I didn't realize we wanted to do it live. I was just going to do it private, but it doesn't matter. So here we are. And Jesse?
Hey, Stanley, everybody. So we've been sharing some texts here and there. You've got lanterns on order, or they're on the way, or what's happening?
They were actually supposed to be here today, so
Okay.
I'm going to have to figure out why they didn't make it. So the lanterns didn't make it today, but when they do get here, we're going to do a duration test where I can see how long it actually will last with a fresh set of batteries. And I'm just going to put 3 new batteries in there and turn it on and
Let it go.
let it go. We're hoping that it's going to last like it says in the in the description that it's supposed to last for like 6 days, but I have a really hard time believing that.
If we get 6 hours out of it,
Exactly.
I think we'll be good. And you saw the pictures I sent you of all my gear laying on the floor.
Yeah.
I've just been picking things up, saying, do I need this? Yeah, I want this. Can I do without this? I'm just trying to pare it down and
Right.
travel as light as possible, but it's there's certain things I just really want to have with me. So I finally got it all into boxes. I've got it into like 5 boxes, and I'm excited. So like tonight, right about now, we would already be in New Orleans at the airport. So
Yep.
It's 1 week away. It's very exciting.
Yep, 1 week away, and it looks like everything's lining up all right. I was a little worried about the weather. Maybe I should share my screen. Let's see. All right, I'm sharing, and let's see, 10-day. So this is next Tuesday. We got a little rain, and then it looks good after that.
Okay.
Mostly sunny, partly cloudy, no rain though. So I think we'll be all right. But just a few days ago, it was raining like on Thursday. So it looks like things have changed a little bit.
So what are you looking at, the 10-day? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, this is the 9th and 10th right here.
Yeah. Okay.
So mostly sunny on Saturday. So that's the day we really needed to be mostly sunny.
Yep.
And so we should be okay. Let's hope for it. This would be nice. 53 degrees, 58 degrees. That would be really nice. As long as we also get some low humidity to go with it, I think we'll have some clear skies, and we'll be able to see some distance.
Good.
So, especially right here. I mean, as long as the dew point doesn't mess with us right here, it should be good. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So I couldn't join that other hangout you guys had the other night, Sean, and you were in there, and I texted in something about, I just put a message in the live chat about, I think we probably should go right down the line and mark our 5-foot mark, or whatever we decide it needs to be. Once we're there looking at things, I keep thinking 5 feet, but we'll see. I say 5 because I'd like to set up my theodolite on the shore at the same height that those lanterns are above the water. It just keeps things really simple for the geometry.
Right.
So let's say it's 5.
So you're saying instead of going back after we hang the lanterns, to go out one time before we hang the lanterns.
Yeah, like
in a very short span of time, and just like
get those marks.
Put a marker on there.
Exactly. Have a Sharpie marker, measure up 5 feet, boom,
right?
Make a mark, and just lay those out. 1 mile spacing. Get that all done, and then drop back and start doing the work of strapping around the around each column.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And that way,
I was thinking about doing it backwards from that, but I think what you're talking about makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
I think we both were thinking, hey, we're going to mark it, put it up, go to the next one. But based on some of the things we've seen and the discussion of tides and whatnot, and I don't think we have a tidal situation here, but just to keep it clean and simple. Right. Yeah, just say, boom, hey, can we get these all marked from the water within, like, say, 1 hour or 2
Right.
hours, whatever that takes
Right.
to get that done. And then we not at our leisure, but we still have time to get this done. But we can just put those lanterns up, get that done, and then get the theodolite out and aim at the first
Right.
lantern, and then swing it to the next one, swing it to the next one, and start taking photography through the theodolite.
Yeah.
My
like
suspicion is that if I'm set at 5 feet above the water, I don't think I'll see the fourth one. I kind of don't think so. Or it's going to be shaving the water's edge, because that's
we're
about
definitely not going to see the last couple. I'm
right.
pretty sure about
Right.
that.
So, we'll do that and get those pictures taken, and we'll see that, and then go to the other side, do the same thing, put the theodolite 5 feet above the water, same height as the first lantern, look at that first one,
Right.
and just swing on out and start looking at them, photograph those. And like I told you before,
so we're talking about doing that at night, though, right?
That could actually start right at twilight. I think.
Yeah, at dusk. I was thinking, but
I think all the photography we want to do is going to have to happen in twilight hours, because as soon as night falls and it's dark, as soon as that happens, you will not see my crosshair anymore.
I mean, I want to take some photography through the telescope. I definitely want to do that as well. Just as I guess supplemental.
Right.
But I agree with you. Taking the pictures through the theodolite, we're going to need to do that. As the lights are becoming visible, but not before it's completely dark.
Right.
Yeah.
Then once it's dark, I can start measuring. I can do my triangulation from my 2 points near the water edge,
right?
To every lantern that I can possibly see. I will be measuring horizontal and vertical angles. I'll probably do 4 sets. That would be like third order triangulation. That's good enough for this. And we haven't talked about that. Like, what's the expectation on the precision? Are we measuring to the nearest inch or the nearest foot? I think it's going to be somewhere in between there. It's not going to be 10 feet. It's not going to be 3 feet, but it's going to be on the order of several inches. Certainly adequate for determining if we have drops of feet. So, because no measurement is perfect. I hope people understand that. I mean, this is not counting. Measuring is a science. It has a plus or minus value associated with it. So that's just the nature of measurement.
There's always measurement error.
Yep.
There's a range of error that you try and keep it within.
Yeah, and that's why we repeat the measurements. We don't just measure once. I mean, you have nothing to compare to.
Right.
So what you're looking for is you're going to do a repetition of a set of measurements that you can do the statistics on it to find out, well, what is the standard deviation? What's the standard error of the mean? It's basically what's the quality of the measurement? What's its plus or minus value? And then you can work with that. It either achieves your goal or it doesn't, and then I think, 4 sets will be adequate here. Probably, pretty much overkill for what we're doing, but I'd rather get that done. But we're going to do that from the water's edge. But then I'm going to also have these other points set up at maybe 10 or 12 feet above the water, up on those banks, so that I can triangulate from that baseline and see all the lanterns from there. And that'll be our night work.
So I would like to get some pictures, and so this might have to happen. We actually might be doing parallel work, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be doing your work with the theodolite. I think I'll be doing the photography.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing. I want to take some pictures from the top of the levee, and then from the bottom of the levee, or ideally, I'd be able to take pictures all the way down the levee, so that I could do another elevator thing.
Oh yeah, excellent. Yeah.
So that's my goal, and I want to do it like you said. when the lights become where it gets just dark enough where the lights are visible, obviously visible. I'm actually wondering, during the day if they'll be obvious that when we look out there, can you see will you be able to see the lanterns hanging there? Not because they're lit up, but just because they're a thing sticking out off the side of the pylon.
Right. I would say maybe the first several, but I don't know if you'll notice that at 7 miles away. It's hard to say. I guess your P900 is going to see them.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about whenever I put my P900 on it or I put my telescope on it, will I be able to make it out? I think I will, honestly. I think I'll be able to see them. So I'm probably. I've talked to my uncle already. We're gonna go out there as soon as sunrise is basically maybe 30 minutes to an hour after sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously you'll meet us there, and we're going to knock that out. We're giving ourselves the whole day, but we want to be able to knock out hanging those lanterns as fast as possible.
Agreed.
And then I'll be able to take some day photography. And
that's right.
And that's what I'd like to be able to do that, and then probably want to get some lunch and maybe some dinner before we actually do the dusk observations.
Oh yeah, I'll show up with grub. I mean, I'm going to be there I'll just be there to stay.
I hear you. That's fine. That's fine with me too.
Yeah.
We'll have to get loaded up with some food. So
you mean you mean the fish don't just jump into your boat or a little fire going on the shore?
On a good day they do. All right, so one of the things I wanted to talk about, and just in the interest of keeping this short, let's just move on to that. Share my screen again here. All right, so one of the things I wanted to talk about is this. I'm pretty sure that this is the same sandbar that we ran into right here.
Oh, heck, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, pretty sure that's the same one. And our clearance is over here, and you have to go with a troll motor. And we're actually we bought I forgot what they're called. It's a push stick, basically stick just push down and.
Yep.
So I want to avoid hanging any lanterns here.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So we need to make sure we avoid this area, which means we need to kind of, figure where our lanterns are going to be, which we don't have to do at this moment. But I mean, I'm just telling you this so that you can have a look at it.
Well, you could right now, if you go back to the left down to Atchafalaya. I said it, didn't I? Go down there to the water's edge and measure. Let's measure out some mileage, because I think
okay
that'll be our 0 point down in the lower left, and maybe 1 mile doesn't fall on there.
I actually think my uncle wants to put in over here.
Okay.
So he was pretty comfortable with this landing right here.
Yeah.
And so I think he wants to put in over there. So this would probably be where we start as far as our work goes.
Okay.
And we'll end up measuring from both sides, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, my computer's dragging on me. Let's see here. All right, let's see how far it is to that. If we're assuming, we're assuming 0 is going to be right here, actually, because that's where the first lantern is going to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Measure. Let's just see how far it is to that sandbar over there.
Is that the only sandbar you guys encountered?
Yeah.
Okay.
We ran the rest of the way, no problem.
That's pretty cool that it actually shows up in this imagery too.
Yeah, I was surprised actually. There's a tree on top of it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that kind of like we were like, that tree is not floating. It's sitting on something. You can look. You can see where people have actually driven through it. You see?
Yeah, I can see it. That tree signified the need to call out land ho. Okay, so that's 2.78.
Yeah, I think we're okay. So
you'll go a little bit further for the 3 miler.
Yeah, exactly. So 3 miles would be, way down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we'll miss it. Yeah,
Good.
I think it'll be fine.
Good. Good. Good.
But yeah, we should like your idea about the GPS coordinates. I think
Yeah.
that's a good idea. I think we need to do that. I don't think we have time to do it right now on this hangout, but I think we should do it before the time comes.
Well, we really don't. We don't even need to mark them out here. What we'll do, Soundly, is simply shoot that first spot,
Mm-hmm.
right? With I'm going to be using construction techniques that, yeah, when we talk about GPS and we realize the audience that's listening to this, you know, they don't believe in GPS, but and we're not doing this for them. But I'd like to just make the point that the technique we'll be using is identical to what's being used to construct highways right now, and you see surveyors walking around with GPS all the time. So I'll have a base unit set up right about where you have the Atchalaia Basin boat ramp, somewhere up on there will be a base unit broadcasting our correctors. And then the roving unit will be with us in the boat. And all we have to do is survey that first point.
Yeah.
And then start trolling it, going on out and watching the distance increase. And when we get to 5,280 feet,
right.
we're at a mile. And we'll just say, okay, well, which column is closer? Oh, let's go to this one. It's closer.
Right.
Stick it up there. And then boom, do another one. Make another mark. That's basically what we're talking about, making the marks.
And so when we do that, we're going to. I'm assuming that you're planning on in the field recording like each individual GPS location for each lamp.
Yeah, I mean, what I'll do is I'll stick the receiver right up against the column, and it's good that we're going to be sticking these on that southbound lane because we can see more satellites to the south. There are no satellites in the north. So our exposure, we're down in a ravine, so there's going to be a lot of multipath and a lot of obstruction here. So we'll be able to actually, as good as I can do it, it's not the same as like setting it up over top of a point, but it'll be consistent. If I stick the receiver, like if I stick the bottom of the receiver in line with our mark, and then I know the distance out to the center of my receiver, I can get a pretty decent position of that. And I'll record those, I'll store those. And then, just go to the next one and the next one. So we'll have our nominal mileage. Again, they're not going to be exactly 5,280 feet apart because the columns aren't going to fall exactly that way. So you just got to pick the closest one. So that's how that'll work. It will be sufficient for the purposes here. It'll work well.
Okay, great. I'm going to let you be the expert there. I'll just help. I'll give you a helping hand.
Yeah, just it's great to have your uncle driving the boat for us, so we can be all hands on to do the work.
Absolutely.
Good.
Now, I have thought about how we're going to document some of this stuff, and so I reached out to Dandy, and I asked him if he would be available again because he didn't think he would be, and he said he might be able to be available. So we'll know whenever it gets a little bit closer if he can come and do some photography for us while we're hanging this stuff up.
That'd be awesome if he could do like some live streaming or just video. Yeah.
Just document what we're doing. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not sure how well the live streaming will work down there in the water. I didn't even think to try that whenever we went out in the boat. But like I can tell you that the live stream that I was doing from on top of the levee had a really low frame rate, and I think if we actually used a phone to do live streaming, that it would probably be really blocky.
Okay.
So I think the best thing to do would be to just
record it.
Just focus on recording everything.
Yeah.
We can. I think that's plenty good enough. We'll just put together a video at the end of it.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so yeah, just I think I guess the sandbar is not going to be in our way after all.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, and hopefully, hopefully we just did have a rain, which is probably good for us. We had a rain today, and it's going to be raining on Wednesday. So if we could get a little bit of water volume coming our way, then we might not have to even worry about that
The
sandbar.
sandbar. Right,
Yeah.
right.
So we'll see what happens.
Let me ask you this: do we have? I'm saying we. It's your camera equipment. Do you think it's possible to have a camera just set up viewing,
Doing a time lapse.
doing a time lapse, just viewing in the direction of where
Yeah.
we're working? You might see us in the background, but basically
Right.
we're really looking to watch that water line.
Yeah, so I did a test with my P900 on time lapses, and that thing lasts forever. It's amazing, actually. So I was thinking of doing just that thing, actually putting the P900 up on top of the levee,
Okay.
aiming it down the side there.
Yep.
Um, I probably shouldn't have said that live. Nobody come get my camera.
Well, I'm not coming alone.
Yeah, yeah, I know. There's not people on the shore, so yeah,
yeah,
I know.
yeah, yeah.
My brother's going to be out there at some point. My wife's going to be out there, so
Awesome.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so I'm going to put a P900 up there and just set on the tripod and just let it take a time lapse. It'll last for eight hours easy. So we'll
Good.
just time lapse us doing all the work, putting it up
Yeah.
there.
Excellent. All right, man. I mean, like, I'm ready to do this tomorrow.
Man, I keep checking my checklist. I'm just like, okay, do I have everything?
Well, I surely have been doing that this week, and I think I don't think I'm missing anything. So, you know
Well,
what? I'm
I've got
like,
crap.
after this, it's Lake Michigan,
Nice.
and then after that, I think it's going to be. I want to go see that Toronto skyline.
That's one that I want to go see. I'd
I
like
want
to
to go.
take a trip to
Yeah,
Niagara. I think me and my
yeah,
wife would enjoy doing that.
yeah. Today in the Facebook group that I run there, that Flat Earth Can't Geodesy, somebody posted pictures of uh, Pikes Peak from 117 miles away.
Wow, awesome.
Well, as trying to say that you shouldn't be able to see it. That whole argument. And
Silly.
the fact is, I mean, if you take all these pretty pictures, and that's what I keep saying, these are really pretty pictures. Where's the horizontal crosshair? Go back, and show me where the horizontal crosshair extends through that mountain. Mick West came in there and did some calculations, and he did a nice graphic of the horizontal plane going through, and he showed where the obstruction was and everything. And he pretty much calculated that the crosshairs would be over top of the mountain.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you saw when I went to San Francisco last year, and I went up to the top of Mount Tam.
No.
I did a quick video on that, and after the fact, I was like, if I'd have had a plumb bob up here, just anything to level my camera. Like, I'm pretty sure that I would have looked over the top of this mountain, which was taller than where I am.
Right.
I'm almost certain that would have been true. So I was like, next time I go back, I'm bringing a used theodolite with me.
Yeah, that or even load one of these apps. If you have the iPhone,
exactly.
there's that one. It's actually called Theodolite, which is really nice because it lets you actually record video through it, and the video will be stamped with all the measurements, the latitude, longitude, the azimuth, and your inclination side to side and tilt, and it's pretty cool. I used to have an iPhone, and that's what I used to use all the time. Then now I have a Droid, and it's a Samsung, so I'm using Dioptra, which is okay. It takes pictures, but it'd be nice if it had video in it. Then you could like move across the horizon. You could do things like that. The only thing is to learn how to properly calibrate the accelerometer in there that does all that measuring.
Exactly. I was going to say this. I got this nice little device called an Elgato Elgato HD60. It's basically it's designed to stream HDMI from some HDMI input into your computer, essentially.
Okay.
It's essentially the glue that makes it possible to record HDMI input onto your computer or stream it. And it's so far it's been a really nice device. Like I've been surprised at how well it does. Um,
So it's like just some type of a converter.
yeah, it's just a device that you plug in HDMI in, and then you
Mhm.
USB out into your computer, and it streams video, to your computer.
Oh,
So
okay.
of course it comes with some software, but it's really nice. That's what I've used to do my live streams for like the stuff to look into my camera.
Okay.
And anyway, the point I was going to make about that is there are various ways to stream your screen of your phone. I think you can just do it directly. There's different pieces of software, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of the phones nowadays will do like an HDMI out.
Oh.
I'm not sure if it does or not. Some of them do and some of them don't, but there's definitely a way to mirror your phone onto like a computer screen or a monitor.
Ah, okay. And then just use it as like a mini digital theodolite with
Hmm.
this app in there,
Right. And
and
then
then
you could record the video. I mean, it'd be nice if you could do it on the phone, but if you can't, there's a way around it.
yeah, yeah.
So there's a lot of cool things we could do like that. I'm bringing the Elgato with me. That's how I do the live streams. But I'm not going to bring it out onto the water with me. I'm not going to bring, my laptop out into the water or anything like that. It'd just be in the way. But but
No,
while we're doing various pieces of it, like once we get done like doing the work and we're like, okay, we're kind of done doing the work now, let's play.
yeah.
I could probably do some live streams.
Okay. All right. I think we pretty much covered everything. Stuff's on the way. Those things will probably arrive this week. I'm
Yep.
packed and ready.
The lamps and the straps are
Perhaps.
both in transit,
Did,
and
did
I
you end up
already
get?
have the batteries.
Did you end up
What?
getting the ones with the ratchet, the straps?
I didn't get the ratchet. My uncle convinced me that, and we actually went. He actually showed me some straps. I actually messed around with them.
Okay.
They're good. I mean, they're basically the straps that you use to like you know cover your boat with where you put a tarp on your
Yeah.
boat and then you cover it with these straps. They're called lashing straps.
Okay.
They use these cams to hold the strap from moving. They're
Right.
they're really strong. I mean it
Oh, there's no doubt about it. They're
no
strong.
doubt.
You
And the
just
thing
have
and
you have to be able to pull on them
yeah.
yeah.
So
So
the thing that my uncle mentioned to me was, whenever you get up there, when we get up there on the pole, if we're trying to push back and forth on this ratchet thing, we're gonna push the boat away from the pillar. You know, so that's what he's saying. He thinks it'd be a lot easier for us to just
pull.
pull it through one time and be done with it. You know,
Okay.
it's because you could pull it through, and you're actually like pulling the boat towards the pillar instead of pushing away from it.
Yeah,
So I mean, he convinced me, and I ended up getting those, and I think it's going to work. And they're
that's
supposed to be
fine.
here Monday, and either Monday night or Tuesday night, I'm going to drive down there. There's one pylon that's pretty easily accessible from the landing that's on the Rama side.
Okay.
So it's on land, and
Okay.
so
Yeah, so you can
I'm going to
test it
go.
out.
Yeah, I'm going to go over there, bring a lamp with me, you know, pull it, and and see how it holds and everything. And if it doesn't for some reason, I think it'll be fine. But if it doesn't for some reason, then I'll just go get some ratchet straps somewhere. I mean, I can get that anywhere pretty much.
Yeah, you could always return the other ones. Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, before we sign off, just check the chat. I don't know if anybody's even watching tonight or not.
Oh yeah, I hadn't even thought to. Where did I put it? I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. Oh yeah, there's much people over there, and we're just ignoring them.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, guys. Uh, well, they just been talking amongst themselves anyway.
getting some comments on in.
Equinox Project asked, Sally, are you going to do a dry run for strapping? Yeah, well, that's what we were just discussing. I'm going to go out there either Monday or Tuesday. There's a pylon that's actually on land. That's the same size as the rest of them. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go out there and just basically bring a lamp with me that we're planning on hanging up. I'm just going to hang it up and make sure everything is kosher. Yeah, we were just about to shut down Factard, but I mean, we didn't have much to discuss. We were just discussing a few things. It's just another quick planning meeting.
Yeah, I think we got it. I don't. Do you see a need to hold another one before next week, or if you want to, we can. But
yeah, I think we got it too. But I think that maybe on maybe this Sunday, me and you can just do one last 30-minute.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to really put it out there. I know you've said it, I've said it, but just love some input. Again, the test to me is a very simple thing. The water's level. Everyone agrees with that. Looks pretty flat. It's very calm. There's no waves. So if we can measure up to the nearest inch at every column, the same distance up, we are definitely transferring this reference of the surface of the water up to a spot on a structure that we can hang a target, in this case a lit lantern. They should all represent that surface of the water, right?
Yeah. They're projecting the surface of the water.
Yeah, and if we can all agree to that, okay, great. And then we can look at them. I mean, isn't this what they did on the Bedford level experiment using, what was it, 3 targets, right? And they were just looking through a telescope. It was a simple test. We're adding a little bit of not complexity, but we're doing some additional things.
Robustness would be the word.
Yeah, we're going to do some additional things, but in essence, we are going to look through the telescope that is set horizontal, that is set at the same height as these lanterns, and we're going to look at the lanterns in the distance. What's the expectation? They should all be in a line. They should all be level. So I'm chuckling because I already know what they're going to look like. But
yeah, I know.
Yeah. So we'll do. Well, I mean,
just the thumbnail of this. Just the thumbnail of this hangout that we're having is. That's what it's going to look like. I mean the top railing bending over the horizon. I mean that's what we're going to see from the lamps too. But like you said, we're curved Earth tourist.
Exactly.
We're doing this because we like to. It's more about the fun of it, photography, and also repeating a historical experiment. I think there's something to be said about that. I think repeating historical, well-established, known experiments is good, but in an educational sense. And I think
I agree.
I think because we're repeating something that, someone can just look at and intuitively understand, this historical experiment. I think it adds to that experiment, so to speak.
I agree, and it keeps it real. I mean, it's almost like a celebration of something from the past in a way. The reenactment of something, but doing it, with some finer equipment. A 1 arc-second theodolite. They didn't have that back then. And we're using very sound methods that are used in construction of, take that bridge, for example. This bridge was constructed using very similar surveying techniques, which kind of grounds it. Everybody should understand that, because you wouldn't believe the flack I run into. And I see the flack you run into. You run into a lot of criticism about CGI and all this craziness about the photography you're doing, whether it's still photography or video. And I run into the same thing with the criticisms of a theodolite and curvatures built into that, and just the silliest things that people say these things but can't back that up. Yet, I just try to answer them simply by saying the work I'm doing is based on the exact same published standards and specifications of doing any type of survey work, like I said, building that bridge, for instance, building the causeway across Lake Pontchartrain, building anything, doing the same thing. So if it works for that, it's got to work for this too. So just wanted to get that
Well,
in there on
I'd
this
like to
hangout.
say,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I'd like to add to that. When people start calling it fake or CGI or fraud or whatever term they want to use, that really is just a reflection of their mind, you know, reacting with a last ditch effort to hold on to their fantasy because they're mentally in anguish seeing this stuff, and
I think you're right.
that's the thing that I feel like actually feel validated whenever they say that, because then I'm like, okay, well, the only reason they're saying that is because they see it, right? They see the curve,
And
and
they have
they don't
nothing else to
want,
say.
right?
Right.
They don't want to see the curve, so they validate that they're actually seeing the curve by calling it fake, and that to me is like, okay, I've just planted some seeds right there,
Yeah. Well, whether they're saying it's fake, you have the people on that side who are literally accusing you of faking it. And then you have the others who recognize what's visibly being depicted there, but come up with every excuse under the sun about what that is, whether it's perspective, whether it's the vanishing point, and all of these other
Right,
reasons.
right.
You know.
Well, let me address Requiem for a Dream. He's always in the chat giving good suggestions, and one of the things he just said was, "I really hope some flat earthers come out for this experiment so they can see it for themselves." Look, this is something that I've asked flat earthers to do, is come join us for observations. Now, I don't expect flat earthers to necessarily be watching our hangouts, but if there are, or if you know flat earthers, or if you want to share this hangout and say, hey, look, they're requesting flat earthers come out there. Now, I don't think, we don't have room for flat earthers on the boat because we're going to have 4 people on there already. But this is what we are going to do. We're going to leave the lanterns out there, and these lanterns are supposed to be long running lanterns. So their lanterns are going to be out there all day, and they're going to be out there into the night, and they're going to be out there all night, because we aren't going to take them off until the next morning. So you have all the opportunity in the world to come and take advantage of our work. We're gonna go out there and accurately hang these lanterns, and then you can bring your own tools and own theodolites and own cameras and come and measure them.
That's great.
I invite them to do that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, are you able to show the chat on the screen and maybe do like we did the last time, just kind of go up and down? Because I hate seeing that get lost.
Scroll over. Okay, yeah, I'll do that real quick.
Yeah, do like a scroll roll so we could see who
Sure.
was here and what people were saying. Maybe someday we'll figure out how to save that chat and put it into the comments.
That would be nice. Yeah, that would be nice.
It seems like a no-brainer. Like, why wouldn't that be a feature?
Yeah, I have no idea, man.
That's crazy. No, that's really good the way you just described that. There's the chat.
All right, so I'm just going to scroll through it real quick, and if anybody wants to read the chat next time, they can come back and read it. But yeah, I mean, that's really the way I feel about it. Is you're more than welcome to come and take advantage of our work. We're going to go hang the lights, and after we've hung the lights, if you feel the need to go and validate it for yourself, I just ask you to wait for us to finish our testing and our measurements. But
yeah,
it's going to be out there all night and into the next day. If you feel the need to go and check it out yourself, please do. Just don't touch it. That's all.
Yeah, and no kidding. I mean, if I'm out there and the theodolite's up and I'm measuring away, but I'm telling you, if someone came up, drove there, and came out there to see this, I would step aside and say, "Hey, take a look."
Yeah.
Look through the if one person did that, I'd be like, okay, here's one person who was interested enough to come here. I can pause for a little bit and here, take a look. I've even offered to take people up to Apple Pie Hill to see Philadelphia. And you know what? They don't want to see that. They, I've actually thought about maybe at some point just making it a regular monthly thing. It's only 20 minutes, 30 minutes away from me. I'm like, I should just announce it. Hey, who wants to come? I'll meet you there. I'll take you up and you can look through this theodolite or look through this level. You know, if they were really concerned with the shape of the earth, they ought to take a look at that. And then question yourself, is that really perspective? Is that what's causing that? Is that really the vanishing point?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what explains the fact that this telescope crosshair is over top of the city?
Right.
You know. Anyway.
No, I mean, I totally agree with you. I think that there are these observations that you can make that I think for some people, all they have to do is look at my videos or my photography or whatever. But for other people, they can't, they can't get past the mental hump without doing it themselves. They need to go out there and experience it for themselves. And there's actually a guy that's been doing that lately. He's been using a theodolite or not a theodolite, auto level.
Oh, Feppy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been doing that, and I think it's making an impact on him. He's starting to see for himself, what's really going on, and I think,
Yeah, for the past 2 years, I've been telling people just get one of these, and I'd hold it up and show them like, get one of these levels.
mm-hmm.
You can rent one at Home Depot. You could, buy one on eBay for $200.
Right, exactly, man. All right, so if the chat doesn't have anything else, I'm going to go ahead and shut down, and we'll call it a night.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.
Talk
Good
to you
night,
later.
everybody. See ya.
Good night.